The Full Spectrum Podcast, presented by Champions and Legends. Champions and Legends produces hemp-derived CBD sports supplements for athletic preparation, performance, and recovery. This is the Full Spectrum Podcast with Big Data and Maverick, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Big Data, welcome back to the basement. Thanks so much for coming over. I put on pants just for this occasion, but it's not my fault. Normally, we like to do it via the phone. We do a quick session with each other, but today the internet's on fire. It's Tuesday. It's presidential election Tuesday, in fact, and the world's going crazy. In fact, the betting world is going on fire with regards to President Trump versus Biden tonight.
It's on fire. Of course, you can't really bet on this in America.
Yeah.
But those cagey Europeans love betting on politics. An estimated $1 billion will be bet on the election today. 4
times. From what I heard, initial reports was there is more betting going on tonight than the Super Bowl. 4 times more than what the normal Super Bowl brings in on and to be honest, do you have a kind of a winner? Do you think anybody? I mean, we got some early indications. It's pretty close right now. It's too hard to call. Are you going to call anybody? You wanna call it out?
I think I'm going to call the tie.
You're going to call tie.
I think a tie.
You know what? That's what they should do. What would happen if Trump can still stay the president and Biden be the vice president, and then 6 months later or 2 years later they switch? Biden becomes the president and Trump's the vice president.
Or they could have a cage match.
I would love to see that. And you know what? I know a lot of people don't think that Biden has a chance, but he looks a little wiry,
Might be a bit of a dirty fighter.
I think so. I think so. Absolutely. Now, I heard, rumor has it, in some of the reports I read, there was a huge bet that was put on, I think somebody put $5 million on Trump.
Yeah, the biggest political bet ever that's been taken in Europe happened today. Person, I don't know if it's a gentleman or a lady,
right,
bet $5 million on Trump.
On Trump. You would think Putin would put a little bit more on. You know what I mean? I would have thought he had a little bit more, but it must have been just a little sprinkle on top of...
Well, he only has rubles.
So how many rubles equals... Yeah, exactly. That's upgrade. Now, quick question, last question I want to ask with regards to this political debate. How's Kanye doing?
I think he's probably in a bunker somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think he's gotten any of the states yet. He's a third party. Like I saw him on the Joe Rogan podcast a little while ago. He's actually still in this thing. So could you imagine he just comes out of nowhere and sweeps it all, takes it all?
If he does, I bet you George Stephanopoulos gets the interview.
I think George Stephanopoulos might be his VP. That's what I think. Or Jay-Z, one of the two. We'll find out very, very soon. Hey, listen, we were talking about a little while ago, mail. We're getting some emails and some text messages, and I'm kind of surprised that we've become this popular already.
Well, there is a listener who's providing some feedback here. Mm-hmm. I got a question for you here, Maverick.
Sure, go ahead.
The listener has identified himself as the CEO from Parts Unknown.
Okay.
And he writes in, Maverick, are you CNL athlete partner James Harrison's biggest fan?
The simple answer is absolutely I am. How can you not be? 2-time Super Bowl champion? This guy, we're basically, if you look at him and look at me, some people have gotten a little confused. We're twins. We're twins. Both physically, you can't, I could totally understand that. So yes, the simple answer is yes, I'm his biggest fan because when I look at him, I feel like I'm looking in the mirror, truthfully, if you want the truth there. I got a question for you. It reads, M Cubes writes from Dallas. You're always talking about LeBron and Kawhi, LA. Why not Luka Doncic?
Well, first of all, Luka did bust on the scene this year.
Yes.
I have a feeling I know who M Cubes is. Sounds a little bit familiar.
It could be. Could be a friend of yours.
I think we will be talking a lot more about Luka, but come on. This year was all about LA versus LA. We never got it.
Yeah.
We still want it. And you know what? I'm going to talk about it a little more, I think, there. M cubes.
Yeah. I think you're getting a little ahead of yourself. One big flash in the pan, Luca. We'll find out next year. Keep it up. Give us one more year, Luca, and then we'll talk more about you. How's that? One last thing I wanted to bring up. Did you catch the fight on Sunday?
Absolutely.
One of the best fights I've seen. No, it wasn't the UFC. I'm not talking about the Silva fight. I'm talking about Javon Williams of the Chicago Bears against Chauncey Gardner-Johnson of the Saints. What was Javon Williams doing, and why was he doing it?
You know, it's really got to hurt when you keep punching someone in the helmet. I don't really know. I can see why he got kicked out of the game, but obviously he didn't hurt the other person in any way. He just lost his marbles.
It completely lost it. Like, 2 words for you, buddy. Anger management. Start going. Because that was... So I saw the real quick. I saw what it initiated it. The Gardner Johnson grabbed his mouthpiece and ripped it out after a little scrimmage, like a little... And then he had to go off on the play. Then comes back in, rips his out, and just starts laying out the haymakers. Like, dude, first off, he's wearing a helmet. So I don't know what exactly he thought he was going to accomplish by doing that, but he looked crazy.
You know what? I'll give him something, though, in these COVID times. You don't want anyone touching your mouthpiece. That is a major violation.
You know what? All jokes aside, maybe that's what did ignite him. Yeah, maybe. Good point. I never even thought of that, actually. Listen, from there, let's get to the big topic of the week, and that's baseball. It's going to probably be the last time we talk about it until they start up again. Moments after we finished our podcast last week, it was 1-0 Tampa Bay going into the 6th inning. And then... I don't know, a little craziness ensued, and this time it was the weird set. The last 2 weeks we've been talking Moneyball versus analytics. We've been talking the big high-priced players versus math ball, and what turns out to be the analytics, but it worked the other which way. It was more of a game time situation rather than the actual players and their averages. Follow me on this. Manager of the Tampa Bay Rays, Kevin Cash, says, hey, ace, Blake Snell, I need you to take the mound for game 6. He says, no problem, coach. He gets out there, and he's mowing down the Dodgers, left, right, and center. Heading to the 6th, he had 9 Ks, 1 hit ball. All of a sudden, second hit comes off Snell, and the Kevin Cash gets to the mound and says, hey, Snell, you got to go sit down. You could see the dejection from Snell's face. You can see the emulation from the Dodgers bench going, I can't believe they're actually doing this. Big data, I ask you this simple question. Did the analytics that got the Tampa Bay Rays to the World Series actually fail for them because of the call that their manager made at that moment?
Obviously, it was a major fail. The manager, Kevin Cash, before the game was asked, will you pull out Blake Snell early? And go with your normal lineup of, putting your crazy 98-mile-an-hour relievers out there. And he said, you know what? We're going to go by feel today.
Oh, really?
We're gonna feel. And then what happened? Push came to shove, and he went straight back to his numbers game. Didn't care at all. I don't think that Snell was he just looked like dynamite.
Yeah.
I don't know why anyone would ever want to take him out. It's and what in the end, the reason he used to do that before is to save them for the long season.
Sure.
It's game 6. That's the last time he's going to pitch the whole year anyway.
Exactly.
Why pull him out?
I'm kind of skewered on it, and I'll tell you why. From one point of view, you got a team that's literally built on guys like the movie Moneyball. They're all just built on averages. Like, oh, this guy's great in this situation, and they got themselves to the World Series. Here you got this manager who, Kevin Cash, is like 43 years old. So he's a relatively young guy. So he gets the analytics game, but he must have been in enough games where the simple thing is this. When a guy's on a heater, you leave him alone. And there is no analytics in the world that could justify and make it you can't make a computer understand what's going on there at this moment. So from one point of view, I completely understand why he did it. I get it because it got him this far. But as a human who's been in the game of baseball, played it all his life, coached a few games, obviously, and sees that this guy's on fire right now, why would you do it? I couldn't agree more. I don't understand it, but I kind of understand it. It fell. So let's reverse the play, right? Let's say he takes him out and then his relievers do what they were supposed to do. He looks like a genius. The math worked. Obviously, in this case, it was the big name players that said, "Hey, no problem. I got this." And they got to the hitter's box and they did what they needed to do. And the Dodgers end up winning their first championship since '88. Unreal, fantastic. It was fun to watch, to be quite honest. Crazy.
Yeah, it's great to see Kershaw get his title. He's been so close so many times. He's been such a great pitcher over the years. Even though he had struggled previously in the playoffs, he had a pretty good playoffs this year.
Okay.
Pretty good for his age.
It was all right.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
That was okay.
So yeah, I got to give it to the Dodgers. That lineup, it was almost a matter of time. It was a really well constructed team, and could win several years in a row.
I look at it from the point of view, Kevin Cash is going, wait a minute. The last couple of weeks, I've been listening to the Full Spectrum podcast, and these guys are right. If I let these guys that don't make any money win, then I'm not going to have a big payroll. I need to get paid. My guys need to get paid. I'm going to go out and get Snell and put him on the bench where he deserves so I can get him more money. He was thinking of you, Snell.
Kevin, come on the show anytime.
Anytime. We'd love to see you. Listen, from there, let's talk about the one other controversial thing that happened. Justin Turner, this guy's literally the heart and soul of this Dodgers team for the last few years. Big time hitter, great. They do the test before. Test said inconclusive. By the 7th inning, they find out, oh, dude, this guy's got COVID. They go and pull him. Well, at this moment, the Dodgers have now taken the lead. They end up winning the World Series, as we alluded to. And then he comes back onto the field to celebrate with his teams when he really shouldn't have been out there. Is that a foul ball or a fair ball?
So, I mean, I guess risk-wise, yes, a little bit. He was putting his teammates at risk. But, I mean, he was hanging out with them the entire day anyway.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Literally.
So I mean, in the end, it's a tough one. It's the guy's first World Series. He might not ever win one again.
Exactly.
I would say, should he have kept his mask on the whole time?
Probably,
yes.
Probably, yeah.
But in the end, I mean, he's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't signed with another team yet.
No.
So they technically can't even suspend him until he does.
Such a good point. It's a great point.
So I think he's all right.
Throw him a little fine. It'll be fine. It's good. I mean, these guys all make $30 million each. What difference does it make? Throw them a little bit of fun. Yeah, I thought it was a little interesting to see, what people would have thought. And, look, based on the sensitivity of this situation, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have went out there, but at least to your point, keep the mask on. Couldn't agree more. From there, let's get over to college football. It is now prime time. The Pac-12 started up. The Big Ten is up and running. The ACC's been starting from the beginning because they're not scared of anything. They don't care.
Nothing.
Here's your top 5. You got Clemson sticking at number 1. Very lucky. Number 2 is Alabama. Ohio State at that 2-0 record. Really, really well-deserved 3rd. Notre Dame at 4. And number 5 is Georgia. Big game coming up this weekend. Big data. It's Notre Dame versus Clemson. No Trevor Lawrence for the 2nd week in a row.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. He's got the COVIDs. He can't play. Really, they're relying on their young quarterback. He came in, played pretty well actually last week.
Mm-hmm.
They were down 28-10 to BC. They ended up shutting them out in the second half, winning the second half 24-0. And really, Travis Etienne, running back supreme. He's been there so many years. He's been there for the entire rise of Clemson. And, 200-plus yards, several touchdowns. He was amazing in the game. And they pulled it out. Now, I don't know if that's going to cut it against Notre Dame. Notre Dame's defense is pretty fierce.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have a tough time trying to beat the Irish this weekend.
I'm almost convinced that there was a little leprechaun that ran around and gave Trevor Lawrence COVID. And this is why. Because I think come Saturday and come early morning Sunday, Notre Dame might be the number 1 ranked team in the nation. Upset alert.
Wow. Good call, Maverick. Well, let's talk about another team that's
all right.
just outside the top 5.
Sure.
Number 6, we're talking the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Yes.
Great chance to go undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't have any big hitters left on their schedule.
Right.
They're 100-1 odds to win the title right now, which is not bad.
Hey, I'm putting a little cash on that.
They're the best shot of a team outside the Power 5 to make the playoff this year. Their biggest opponent was SMU, another really good non-Power 5.
Aren't they still suspended?
Oh, no, they're back. Oh, they're back.
I know, but I was just...
So they crushed SMU, who's their toughest opponent of the season. They have no more ranked teams to play, and they have a great defense. So look out for the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Can I throw one team at you? Watch out for Coastal Carolina, ranked 15th. And last week, I saw them on TV, 51-0 win over Georgia State. That's my outside pick of the year right there.
Impressive.
From there, let's head over to where all these guys one day want to play, and that's the NFL. Week 8 just completed. We are literally halfway through the season. I'm upset. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm getting upset. I'm getting emotionally. I can't handle it. I hate this time of year.
You are a little teary-eyed.
Yeah, I just don't like it. But you know what made me teary-eyed? Was that Broncos-Chargers game is what made me teary-eyed.
What a crazy comeback. Broncos-Chargers. So I'll give you a point in the game where we'll show you how far from winning the Broncos were.
Okay.
It was the start of the fourth quarter. It was 24-10 Chargers.
Yeah.
It was 2nd and 16 for the Broncos at their own 29-yard line. So why am I bringing up this play? It seems kind of random.
Sure.
At that point, the Chargers, according to ESPN, had a 96.4% probability to win the game.
Makes sense.
And, of course, they didn't. The Broncos scored 3 TDs in the fourth quarter. The Chargers only had 2 field goals. And the Broncos' last TD was with 1 second left in the game. They kicked the extra point and they won. And the Chargers continue to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Isn't that, and that's, you know what's funny? We keep harping and hurting the Atlanta Falcons for literally doing the same, but you don't hear the same coming out of the Chargers camp. Not sure why that is. I say we be fair and we make fun of the Chargers just as much as we make Atlanta. So what would happen if they played each other? So are they both? No one would win. They just keep.
It'd be a tie for
He's
sure.
He's like, no, I insist you take it. No, you take. No, please, I agree. Please. I can't handle it.
Another interesting thing, which I know you enjoy talking about.
Yes.
A tough performance. Lamar Jackson, 13 of 28 passing, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a QBR of 12.5. Ouch.
Let me take a look. How much time do we have left on this podcast? All right, here's my whole thing. Lamar Jackson last year, I called it out. I called it at the beginning of the year. I said, you know what? Here's this kid who was a flash in the pan. I said last year he's going to have a horrible season. I was obviously very wrong about that. But where I wasn't wrong is that all I said was teams are going to start figuring him out, and that's exactly what happens. Against teams that have good defenses and good offenses, he's 0-4 at least, if not more. 0-7, I believe, is one of the records I saw out there. But when it comes to beating all the mediocre teams, yeah, he's fantastic. And he's MVP fantastic, okay? Here's my thing. And it's actually, I'm about to defend him. Here's the whole thing. I watched that Pittsburgh game, and this is what I saw. He's dropping back to make pass, and you can tell no one's open, and he wants to run, and he wasn't running. So that shows me that the coaching staff has made it very clear to him, we don't want you running around. But this is the thing. The guy can't pass. Yes, the guy won the Heisman. Yes, the guy is a great collegiate quarterback. Yes, the guy is elusive. Yes, the guy can run. But that's what he's good at. You can't now make him a passing quarterback in the NFL. It's impossible. You can't do that. You can't ask me to go and block Aaron Donald because I played O-line when I was in high school. That doesn't work that way, all right? He wasn't ready to be a passer in the NFL. That's why a lot of people said, hey, maybe you should be a wide receiver or a running back or whatever. He runs well, and he can pass, but he can't pass the way a Tom Brady or an Aaron Rodgers can. So let him do what he knows how to do, which is run the ball, little play action, let him scamper around. teams may start figuring him out. I get it, but they've already if you still allow him to keep passing, you're going to keep getting all those kind of games. That player, it doesn't matter if it's Pittsburgh, and it doesn't matter if it's going to be the Jets. These guys are NFL caliber players, and they will take that away from them. So, Lamar, I'm trying to help you. I'm just trying to help. I really am. I know some people think I hate you. I don't hate you. I want to help you. But you got to just start running when you got the time to run, my friend.
LJ Era 8, we'd love to have you on the pod.
He's such a salesman you are. I love it. From there, can we talk a little bit, since we are at the halfway point? It's Tom versus Bill. The first round, we said, hey, I think Bill might have him. So we gave round 1 in a 4-round match to Bill. Round 2, Tom didn't like the fact that the cards went to Bill, and he has laid a haymaker. And he now, basically, I think may have won. What are your thoughts going, now we're only halfway through, has Tom automatically now become the winner between player and system?
At the moment, Tom is for sure winning. Bill, poor guy, he had 8 starters sit out because of COVID, like 4 times any other team in the league. So he's already behind the 8 ball already. And frankly, I'm going to have to give it to Tom as well, because I didn't realize that Belichick's son, who's the outside linebackers coach, had such a terrible mullet.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Oh, that thing is like Joe Dirt bad.
It's up there. It's not good.
So
no.
I got to give this one to Tom by far now. Like, it's not even close.
Right now, I would say that Bill, it's too bad, because Bill had everyone believing that this actually might happen, that New England might be able to do it. And Bill, I just want you to know, I'd love to have you on this podcast, and I still believe in you. And I think there's still an outside chance. But we need to get Cam back in. I don't know what. Ever since Cam got the COVID, he hasn't been the same Cam.
It's true. He hasn't.
So I agree. I mean, so many players opted out, this, that, the other. But we got to get you back on track, Cam. I still feel like New England's got a little bit of an outside chance. Just a little bit on the outside.
Why are you cutting the arms off your shirt right now? This is ridiculous.
I love him so much. I think he's just a genius. And by the way, I'm reading that book, Dynasty. I'm telling you, this guy is a fortune teller. He can see things. I'm telling you.
You always look like a good coach when you have the best players. Just ask Frank Vogel with LeBron now.
That's a good point. You might be honest. See, this is why I hate arguing with you most of the time. Listen, from there, I want to ask you one thing before we get to everyone's favorite segment, Pump and Dump. Do you have a bold statement? Make one bold statement for the remainder of the NFL season. You've seen half of it now. Give me something.
I think the boldest statement we can make is that Tua Tagovailoa will lead the Miami Dolphins to the playoffs.
What?
Only to get injured before the first playoff game, and Ryan Fitzmagic will lead them to the Super Bowl.
Ladies and gentlemen, I asked for a bold statement, and I got a bold statement. You know what? What am I going to think of one? Here's mine. The Tennessee Titans will be in the AFC Championship game again against the New England Patriots.
Now that's bold.
There we go. Big Data, give it to me. Pump and dump.
So this week, our top QBs, again, Patrick Mahomes has wrestled the lead back from Russell Wilson. Kyler Murray's third. Josh Allen's fourth. Kind of the same program we've been saying.
Josh Allen's going to start falling off. I promise you that.
Bottom QB, and he's just been putting up some great stinkers lately. Baker Mayfield. 8 points against the Raiders.
What is wrong with this guy?
A lot.
Yeah, fair enough. Respect, yes.
Running backs, if anyone was playing a team that had Dalvin Cook last week, my apologies. 48 fantasy points. He's back in the lead. He's number one. He's number one running back overall, and he missed a couple games. It's stunning.
Quick question. Is Dalvin Cook the Kawhi Leonard with the load management of the NFL?
He might be. You're right. Well, I think Todd Gurley was the... He was the guy. Dalvin Cook, he might have taken the mantle.
That guy.
We got Kamara, strong second place. Derrick Henry's in third. And then, just as we were talking about, sneaking into the top 4, Todd Gurley.
Girls.
What a comeback season.
Yeah,
He was
man.
left for dead last year.
Well, enjoy that, LA Rams.
And the bottom running back, I got to say, it was a good run. I'm happy you're still in the league making some money. Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
2 points and 0 points the last 2 weeks.
You know what? I truly believe if they give him a little bit of a chance, I think he could do something. I think they're just not giving him the ball, which I get why, but I mean, I think he could do something if they give him a chance.
I would say fantasy managers, delete. Top wide receiver, our favorite, DK Metcalf.
Did you see that one catch that he made for a touchdown last week where he literally kind of did a loop? He ran like a 400-meter around everyone and then scored.
It's amazing.
Just to show everyone how fast and amazing he was.
And then our typical guys, Tyler Lockett and Calvin Ridley, are actually third place. Someone has snuck into second place.
Who is it?
Tyreek Hill.
Out
of nowhere.
He's fast.
And we've talked this bottom receiver before, but I just had to say it again. We're just hating on the Browns. Jarvis Landry.
I'm telling you, ever since Beckham came into Cleveland, he's a no-show.
13 points in the last 3 games.
Yeah, really sad.
Tight end, Travis Kelce again, by a mile, top tight end. Second place is George Kittle, but sorry.
What does that say about the tight end position this year? Because he's been out, and now he's out for an extended period of time.
Now he's done, yeah.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
So, yeah, Kelce, he was worth, that late first round, second round pick because he's been so dominant. And then you got Tanyan back up to third place, and, Jonnu Smith, Mark Andrews.
I love the Jonnu, but he's been up and down, too.
And then, for the amount of money he's making, super disappointing, bottom tight end, Kyle Rudolph. 2.4 points a game. He makes about $7 million a year.
Yeah, he's smart. He's the smartest guy in Minnesota. All those guys in Minnesota, they take money and they go. That's what they do.
They make bank.
And that's the Kirk Cousins curse, if you will.
And we've had a big shift on the defensive side. The top defense now, this is kind of stunning.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
I'm not that surprised. This team, there's something about them, They keep teams under them.
They're great fantasy defense, and we have finally a new bottom defense.
Oh, who could it be?
It's no longer America's team. We have the Raiders.
The Raiders,
yes.
Really?
That bad. John Gruden, way to go.
And that's despite winning against Cleveland on the weekend.
So we're at eight weeks into the season.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders have played 7 games.
Right.
And they have their defense in fantasy has totaled 7 points.
Wow. Wow.
And of course, we're not going to talk about the kickers.
Yeah, kickers are gone. From there, we go to the way we kind of like to end this podcast, nice and easy. It's called The Great Debate. Now, this week I decided, you know what, looking at and talking about America's team, I said to myself, man, have they fallen. Like, granted, they weren't doing that well when Dak was there, but this fall, since Dak has injured and gone for the year and maybe a little bit longer, you start realizing the big controversy was, should Dak get his money? And here's the question. Is Dak Prescott actually worth the money he was actually wanting to get? Now, he was looking in the $40 to $45 million range. He wanted the same amount as Patrick Mahomes. Russell Wilson's at 35. Tom Brady this year is making 30. Carson Wentz is making 32. Jared Goff at 33. And Deshaun Watson at 39. After seeing what's happened in Dallas and seeing Dak falling off, I was always on the fence. I said to myself, I want to see him earn it, but I'm at the point now where I'm like, man, this guy actually might be worth the $40 million mark.
When you have a quarterback that's good in the NFL, we can see very easily they're not replaceable. You could go to any of the 32 teams right now and say, can you replace your quarterback with another great quarterback? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, there's a Tom Brady situation that comes up. That is not happening for Dallas. They cannot go anywhere without Dak. They need to pay him because the opportunity cost of not paying him is, okay, fine. Pay someone else $5 million, $10 million, $20 million. You're going to get garbage results.
Yeah.
Pay him $40. You might still not do that great, but
True.
you have a fighting chance.
With that offense that they have and seeing what he was able to produce before he got hurt, 40, you're getting a bargain, man. Listen, Mahomes deserves to be the number one. You know, offensive player of the year, Super Bowl champ, rookie, all that stuff. 45, that's his. No one should be making more than him. But should he be making more than Russell? It's hard for me to say because I love the Russell. And and he's on pace to finally win his MVP that he deserves. But Russell's, as he's getting older, this is where Dak actually might, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think he is worth a $40 million mark, man.
For sure. And the other thing is, like, Russell's deal is not up.
No.
You have to take advantage of your opportunities.
Sure.
Russell was the highest paid when he did his, and Dak's going to be, he's probably in the Deshaun Watson range as well.
Exactly.
39, 40, whatever it's going to be.
And I'll say this last point, and I'm being serious. If you give Carson Wentz the same weapons that Dak has, I could see Carson doing okay with them. I'll give him that. But a Jared Goff, I don't think he can do what I don't think that Jared Goff could do anything near what Dak can do. You know, if you reverse the roles, give Dak his offense, I think Dak can do quite well with a Coop and a Woods and stuff like that. So that's where I'm laying on it. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm crazy. That's the great debate. Dak Prescott is worth $40 million. I don't believe this. I don't believe it. From there, that's it. We gotta get on to the intranet. We gotta find out who's winning this crazy election. Who's gonna be the next leader of the free world? Let's get down to it. Big Data, thanks for coming down. I will put some pants on now, and we'll go from there, man.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Champions and Legends produces hemp-derived CBD sports supplements for athletic preparation, performance, and recovery.
Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you.